Hey, what's happening, everybody? Tommy C here. Listen, I know I haven't been around. I was on vacation with the Easter vacation and all. But I do plan to give you a ton of content on this side, and especially stories that I really dig and I'm really interested in. And I have one today that I was actually personally involved in one point. So I hope you watch the whole thing. I've got another thing. Just got a notification from YouTube. I did let this channel kind of wallow for a while, but we are juicing it, and I have been uploading, as you can see. We lost our monetization, so watch it. We're only about 1,000 minutes off, 2, 3, 4 videos. It should be good, but I really appreciate it if you watched the whole thing and check this out, because it's a really interesting story and any of the other content we upload in the future. And what makes me even more proud about this is the fact that this has nothing to do with Ethan Klein. So we have a really interesting story today. You might have heard, if you're really, really an old internet head, of ZilianOP, or as he's known now, it's Blooish. Wavywebsurf, almost 2 years ago, did a story about ZilianOP. You know, the guy that, solicited donations and pretended that he was in a wheelchair? Well, he did a video about that, and then he was contacted by Zilian, and he found out, the situation wasn't really that clear cut, that he actually had been injured. And that led to a really great interview by Wavywebsurf where they got to the bottom of it. And while Zilian definitely made some mistakes, they certainly were not as egregious as we once thought. And not only that, you could really, if you think about some of the things that have been done on Twitch and what people get kicked off for or have been punished or even been brought back on, Zilian doesn't even approach what should qualify as an absolute permanent ban. We are actually coming up on 10 years of the so-called Twitch miracle walk. We're getting very, very close to it. Now, here's the story with that. Wavy did a story, and then I did an interview. And my interview, as you can see right here, it's not easy. I don't think I go easy on him whatsoever. I get right to the heart of it, and you can check it out. I'll put the links for Wavy's video and my interview with him, and you can make up your own mind. But we got some great news today. One of the things that I always really wanted to happen, and believe me, behind the scenes I worked as hard as I possibly could to convince other big creators to kind of take on this story, and somebody did. And this video only came out yesterday, and it's already acquired almost more than 500,000 views. And I'm super happy about this because maybe, just maybe, we can have Zilian back on Twitch if people get this whole story. Now you're saying, whoa, wait a minute. That's the guy that, no. That he doesn't deserve that. He was pretending to be in a wheelchair. No, he wasn't. And this came up through Wavy's research, and thankfully Sunny, who I think made a very good but critical video of the ZilianOP situation, he points that out, that not only is that not true, it really couldn't have been the case. So stick around, watch this part of the video with me, and we'll talk about it.
Surf would learn of Zilian's return in June 2020. In conjunction with the newly found evidence that Zilian was disabled at least to some degree, Wavywebsurf would conduct an hour-long interview with Zilian to get the full story from his perspective. Throughout the interview, it feels as though Zilian is speaking in a way that's truthful. It doesn't feel like he's trying to hide anything. So under the assumption that this whole discussion wasn't yet another lie, here's what they discovered. Firstly, Zilian wasn't lying about either the car accident or needing to be in a wheelchair.
I was in a wheelchair for 2 years. I was in a car accident, which put me in a wheelchair for more than a year prior to streaming.
And therefore, the disability was never fabricated out of the blue in order to gain extra donations.
And, with these Facebook photos, that just by you showing those photos that you created a fake, disabled personality, that's completely not true. And
Correct.
The problem was that at some point in the journey, there was clearly a shift from not being able to walk to being able to walk.
When I started streaming, I needed it completely.
Okay.
It was my 100% go-to. If I needed to go to the bathroom, I was getting out of my bed, pushing myself in a chair and going to the bathroom.
However, none of this was disclosed by Zilian at any time. Therefore, he'd conclude that his lack of explanation about where he was at in his journey was one of his biggest shortcomings.
Do you feel like you screwed up in the sense that, when you are integrating your disability so much in stream that it may have put off a certain image that you were wheelchair bound when you weren't? Are you willing to admit that perhaps not updating people was a mistake there?
It was my biggest mistake, not updating people. I should have been open about the recovery from day one. My wheelchair is part of my stream, and it's something where people see me do wheelies and something people see me stuck in. I should 100% have been like, hey guys, today at physical therapy, I walked 2 steps.
Yeah. That would have helped.
What an exciting day for me, and I didn't say a damn thing.
No, I got to tell you, I couldn't be happier. This is really the best news for me all year. Full disclosure, I have an internet friendship with it's Blooish, or ZilianOP, as he was more famously known. He's been really, really cool to me, and like I said, I'll show you again. I've interviewed him before, and we struck a bit of a friendship. He's actually helped me with some World of Warcraft tips. I wouldn't say we're the tightest guys in the world, but I do appreciate his company, and I like to see him get back to Twitch, because I think for all you skeptics out there, and I was a little bit skeptical too, and you can see the interview that I did with him. I push him. I really think the worst crime he's guilty of, which was just mentioned here, is the lack of disclosure. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a little sympathetic. Where it might have been, let's say you're a skeptic and you said, no way, this guy misled. All right, let's say he misled. Let's take it that way. If he did mislead, if I had to guess, being one of this guy would have been the biggest thing on Twitch. I mean, he came on around the time that Soda Poppin' did. If he did mislead, he might have been concerned, considering it's his only job, that he would get less if he thought people were. If people thought he was getting better. Now, he's never told me that. In fact, he outright denies it. But I think if you look at this the most cynical way possible, that's all he's guilty of. I'm worried about people giving me less if they find out I'm getting better. That's not an excuse. I think that's a reasonable criticism. This is something that I pressed him on in my interview. You can go check it out again. But I think after, almost a decade of really being considered one of the biggest jokes in streaming, the most dishonest man in streaming, we've seen a lot worse than that. And I tell you something, if I was in a car wreck and my only job was streaming and I was going through that type of treatment, and this is my only form of income, I might protect it by omission. So for all you skeptics out there, the only thing I believe this man is guilty of is protecting his income by omission, by omitting information that I think he had a personal responsibility to tell people. He wasn't 100% upfront about that, but he certainly did not fake a disability. He did not fake a major injury to increase donations. And I also can say, having watched his streams in recent years, he's quite knowledgeable about World of Warcraft. So he's a legit streamer. He knows what he's doing. He does the harder content, the fine on that particular game. So I think if that's the worst, then so be it. Again, full disclosure, I consider this guy a friend. I want him to get back onto Twitch, and I'm using this opportunity to help signal boost the whole situation. And again, if you need to know, first of all, it's a fascinating story. Check out Wavy's video, okay? I'll put that in the description. Check out Sunny's video. Check out my interview. Take it all in and make your own decision. Yes, I'll be completely honest. I'm a little biased, but I'm only biased in the sense because I want somebody to get a second chance. I think a well-deserved second chance. Because again, the worst thing he did was mislead by omission because he wanted to protect the only income that he had. It's not right, but it's understandable. And he certainly deserves a second chance. This is not somebody pretending to be homeless and being disabled on the street panhandling. This is not the same situation, and you found out they were never in war, they were never a soldier, and they were never hurt. This is not the same situation. And unfortunately, in 2013, That's how it was presented. I can tell you, if you think I have any credibility at all, that's not true. If you think Wavywebsurf has any credibility at all, he'll tell you that's not true. And I felt, even though this video, it showed the whole story, this SunnyV2 video, I think he feels absolutely the same way. So get this story out there. You can get this video out there too, that'd help me a lot. But look, I'd be much more important to me, because apparently this is gonna be a freebie, that you get this story out there. Let Twitch know. Maybe a second chance. Check Wavy's video, check Sunny's video. There should be roads to redemption on the internet when you screw up. And I think this is a minor screw up, and a screw up that would only happen under the worst of circumstances. And that circumstance was a terrible car wreck. All right. Make your own mind. Do your own research. And let Twitch know. Let Twitch know people deserve second chances.